Welcome to the Quantum Awakening podcast, where we invite you to embark on a profound exploration of conscious evolution, human transformation, DNA upgrades, and the harmonious fusion of science and spirituality. Guiding you through this enlightening journey are your dynamic hosts, Sharon Milne-Barber and Amanda Bowden. With their extensive knowledge and expertise, they will serve as your trusted leaders of knowledge. Sharon, with her deep spiritual insight and celestial race knowledge, will shed light on the mystical aspects of your existence. Meanwhile, Amanda will share her expertise around manifesting, mind-body-soul connections, and how science and psychology are intertwined with spirituality. Join us on a transformative journey to enhance your perspective and to bring you enlightenment.
Hello. So it's me, Amanda Bowden, and
Sharon Milne-Barber.
And we're here today with our podcast, Quantum Awakening, Exploring Conscious Evolution. And today we want to chat about star children. So all kids are star children. As with my learning so far, we know that they are those who are incarnating, who are on a higher level, considering like the higher self and the higher human essence, which is bringing in a higher level of intelligence. And this has been going on for years through the incarnation program that started how many years ago?
Thousands of years ago in the Atlantis period of
Yeah.
experiments.
Yeah. And so many children who have come through, like including myself, and what is known as on the 3D level of understanding right now as in neurodiversities. So that could be things such as like dyslexia, ASD. So like I'm on the Asperger's side of that. So it literally feels like learning how to be human. That's the only way I can explain it, as in like social cues and building relationships with people and stuff like that. And then you've got ADHD, which I like to say that is tuning into the higher dimensions because we've come in on a higher level, which means that your brain is running on a higher frequency. And so we have to meditate more as well, which is what is known as like mindfulness and things
Grounding.
like that. Yeah, to look after ourselves more, to bring us down.
So we're all, as Amanda says, we're all star children, and there's been phases through human history where there's been awakening times. Go back thousands of years through this up to this new awakening time, and these children are coming in on a higher frequency. So yeah, they're battling, aren't they? It's like hitting a wall.
And yeah, it can be hard. Like I knew on some level, and then someone literally said, "You're autistic because you're really funny with time and stuff." And I was like, "Well, I've been wondering that, but I didn't want to at the time. I don't know.
Label yourself,
yeah, I didn't. I hate like before I did this. I absolutely hated labels. I hated the fact that I'd been labelled something, because for me, my learnings around who I am as a person is more towards like the empath, and you can see that in my Spirology Reflection of Self book, because it's literally a self-discovery, and I'm writing and thinking, oh my god, actually, can we as empaths actually be like autistic and highly sensitive people with our sensories and different things? And that's what opened the door essentially. And so I wanted to explore this avenue. I think it was like 2022, like last year I found out. And then I actually wanted to do it for positive intention, to learn about myself more.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, yes, oh my god, this is why this has happened. This explains this from like past experiences in my current life, whereas like with people and different things and relationships, and why certain things have been harder, because you find that you have to work harder, that things are more simple to people who are not normal, what's the word, or neurodiverse. I can't think of the word.
I'm sure
But yeah, where their brains work,
Yeah.
as they normally
what
should
is
do.
what is normal?
Exactly.
We can't label normal anymore, can we?
No. And so, like, to start off with, it went down the path of, this is good. And then somebody said to me, you might have some grief with this. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Like,
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I was like, I couldn't accept it. I didn't want the label. I was like, you can have it back. I don't want this.
We do that in the 3D reality, though. It's just the understanding of it.
And it was like, for me, it took about 6 months for this to go through, and it went the other way, quite negative for a long time. And I was like, right. And even now I question it, because I have a higher understanding. But I also know now that this process had to unravel in the way it did, because when you do use labels, like in our 3D understanding of physical earth and things, you also start to learn parts of who you are from the bottom up, so then you can kind of understand who you are as a core and take what resonates with you and learn from it and teach other people. And also the fact that as a coach, this is the angle I'm coming in at now, and it's made me realize down the line that I want to work with people who are neurodiverse, to do with the manifesting things, because I work with numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also to put a positive spin on it, because at the beginning of that journey, it was quite difficult. And finding information on a positive aspect, like now I know, like, Asperger's is quite a high intelligence, really, in a way, because my brain can do things that some people don't do, if that makes sense. So it contributes towards
and you
being...
need this higher intelligence for this ascension process we're on, to understand what we're being told, which is above the 3D understanding reality.
Yeah, and like people would say to me, Asperger's is like where people are coming in and they're more advanced. And I was like, well, no, that don't sit right. Not more advanced, but more wiser and knowledgeable about things yet to come. So
more
we're
intuitive as well.
Yeah. So it's more like looking at it as a perspective as we're kind of like the cycle breakers of humanity.
Paving the way.
Yeah.
So me and Amanda are both they just said to me, call yourselves elevated star children. So we're all star children. Okay. We're elevated. So we have a higher self that is a higher, it's very experienced. And the human essence side of us is an ancient human essence that's had many experiences in ancient times. So that is the elevated energy we're coming in on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So going back to the Soul Connection podcast we did, which was I believe the one before this, that will give you a little bit of information about it, guys.
Yeah. And so, like, with each generation that comes in now, like, the evolution path is going higher and higher and higher, because the energies on Earth are coming up as well, because Earth is ascending and she's taking us with her. And if your energies are not matching where she is, then
struggle.
Yeah.
And
so that's why the souls that are coming in now are on a higher level, because they can cope with that, and also bringing in knowledge and information to help people move forwards whilst we're doing this process. And like with each generation, they're evolving. So like I've noticed with my daughter, she's very highly ascended. She's very intelligent. She's probably about 2 years ahead of other people in school and stuff like that. But also, she's already heart-mind connected, which we've had to learn on our path.
Yeah.
And connect those two.
So that's the elevated star energy.
Yeah. Star child. Yeah, because we've talked about that soul connection.
Who I'm here to guide, it's exactly the same. She's way ahead of her school years. My granddaughter.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And so, sorry.
No, go on.
I was just going to fling a few things in because one of the things, as we said, we've had through history, there actually has been elevated star children brought to Earth before through periods of history, and it's happening now. And what really triggered it with our intergalactic council, light council of the galaxy. Obviously, Earth is one of the places they monitor and are trying to help ascend. Is that we've been left for quite a period of time with incarnated souls, but not really with any extra support to see if we could ascend on our own. But we entered the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. We progressed into Industrial Revolution, First World War, and then we went into a crisis around the world, a money crisis, and then we went into the Second World War, and we carried on destroying ourselves, genocide, and inventing a bomb. They realised that we weren't really getting the message, were we?
I can't see why.
So they decided to bring back the elevated star children again.
Makes sense.
So it's been written about by many light workers, and they labeled. They just wanted to bring labels in for these children. So you probably, if you've looked into it already, you'll recognise indigo, crystal, rainbow, and Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, because it. Oh, go on. Sorry.
So, and over a period of time, as we progressed into the sort of the 60s and the 70s, these children were seen as bouncing off the walls or on higher energy level. Education systems having trouble dealing with them. They were having trouble dealing with the 3D reality. Sadly, some chose to perhaps leave in a way we don't like to talk about, suicide. Some because what really they were not getting the support they needed from the human side as well. So what they try to do now is put the elevated star children with parents or carers or into a support system where they're going to get the adult support above them, not in the education system at the moment in the world.
And they've actually chosen those parents, haven't they?
Yeah. Shall I do a quick how you can recognise these children if people thinking they might have a star child that needs...
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So indigo are passionate about their beliefs. Their intense emotions can be overwhelming for them. They have a specific purpose, which is to seek out the truth and challenge traditional ways of thinking. So they will question and challenge you as a parent. Be prepared for that. Indigos are paving the way for a new world of integrity, breaking down the old systems of thought. So there might be the ones out there with the boards doing the protests. They might be on Greenpeace, whatever. And the warriors. They're uncovering lies and secrecy to help all children see the world from a higher spiritual perspective filled with unconditional love. Again, we've already covered the ADHD and stuff. So I've got this in my spiritual, plugging our books, aren't we? The Spiritual Toolkit book. So crystal. So what was that one I did? Was that indigo? Did I say crystal?
Yeah, indigo. Yeah.
Crystal children. So the past 30 years, they call them the crystal childs. They possess a unique purpose to guide humanity to the next level of evolution and unlock the inner higher power within reach of you. So we're talking soul connection, higher self. They function as a group consciousness. So these crystal children have an ability to connect. So they might have other children in the class they connect with.
Okay.
Could be they've come together, or they'll link up further down their education. Could be college. Could be something that they'll actually say, well, we're not going to do this. Let's protest on that, or let's do a charity to get rid of that. You know, they're going to be the instigators.
So they're telepathically connected.
Yes, yeah. They might not always be aware they've got this connection.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're still in the 3D energy. But
that's cool.
the law of humanity. They want the law of humanity to be as one, to live by the law of humanity and unity. Their mission is to advocate for love and peace on Mother Earth. Rainbow children are becoming increasingly common in the last few years. These special children bring a sense of joy and harmony to their families. They will be the smiling child that hardly ever cries. They'll be the light. These can be Down syndrome children through to any child. They could be physically handicapped. How many of you met again, we label physically handicapped, but what do you say? A child that's got disabilities, but they're the light in the room.
You change the language.
Yeah, the rainbow. They're very infectious, enormous hearts, and filled with forgiveness.
Yeah.
So if you've got a child like that, you're communicating with a rainbow child. They're there to bring change and bring thought process to other people and acceptance.
Can I just add before you go on one, because I don't want to interrupt you on the other part. Like, what's popped in my head is, like, I've written about the magnetic light spectrum.
Oh yeah.
So for me, when we were talking about light workers before, so that's a light spectrum, and so like we are talking about the different colours.
They're the rainbow.
Yeah. They're all within the visible light spectrum as well, which is where I've gotten the colours from that you're describing right now. And they run on frequencies as well.
That's cool.
So that's the sciencey bit.
That's cool because they've given these names so we can relate to the different processes, but there's more depth to it than that, isn't there?
Yeah, because if we haven't got labels and names in the human world, then we don't know how to describe and talk about things.
Yeah. And the Blu-ray, a Blu-ray aura possesses a unique energy that is visible to those with psychic abilities. They're always filled with shades of blue and violet, indicating their natural talent as alchemists and energy workers. Did you know that, Miss Blu-ray? Because you're Blu-ray.
I know.
These individuals possess an immense capacity for compassion and love.
Yeah.
That's Amanda. And are with you to transmute dense and difficult energies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been your lessons, isn't it? However, their mission is not an easy one, and they often choose to incarnate in challenging circumstances.
That's why I was going to add as well, because like I haven't got my book in front of me, so I'm just going to have to go with whatever I remember in my head.
Yeah.
Like from a Blu-ray point of view, we choose, believe it or not, on a soul level to incarnate into families that may have like dysfunctional patterns that run through them, because we're the ones who start to change it around from an evolution point of view, and we want to make a positive impact. So we, like you say, flip the coin and start turning it the other way around, because we want better for the next generation, which is natural, don't get me wrong, but this is more towards the spiritual path side of it as well, because we're aware that we're the first ones in the family to wake up as a spiritual leader, if you want to use the terms. And we know that we are here to forge the path, like you said, for others to follow, and so they realise their path in life. And then also it's partly why, like, my guys always give me, you're the healer's healer, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not. I don't want that responsibility. That's my first thought when we said about it last year. But it's true, because like you said, we're here to transmute things and bring in healing, because that's what we do naturally. And then generally, if you're around a Blu-ray, you'll feel like quite calm energies. Like I see within my daughter, she's kind, she's compassionate. And some people believe that when you have those qualities, that people walk all over you.
They see you as a weakness, don't they? But it's actually the higher strength you can have.
And like I've only realised this now through relationships and different things, because I've been on the other end of that stick, and I've had to learn, actually, you can both be kind, compassionate, but you can also have boundaries with people.
You can be super strong and intelligent and amazing people.
Yeah, and there's just so many things. Like Blu-rays are here to help others learn how to navigate their life's path, because that's where the bird tribe part comes in. But because we see like the bigger picture, and so we see things that are possibilities before they actually come in, like events, possibilities on our own life as well, our own lifespan and different things.
What's interesting is it says here they remember their natural gifts and soul mission upon incarnation. So we're saying a lot of people don't remember.
Yeah.
Blue ray will often have awareness. They might not understand it all as they grow up, but eventually they will understand they've been here before.
Yeah, which is true, because like that's where I've been. Like my parents are quite spiritual, but they've not had the lead knowledge where we are now with it.
Yeah.
They've been in to do the process, the part, and that's what they've been asked to do. Whereas I've come in now with my awareness and learnings and new knowledge and ancient knowledge, I guess. Whereas that's needed for my daughter to nurture her on her path. And so that's what's going on right now. And we're coming in more from the conscious evolution part, whereas parents before us were on the unconscious part. So they knew somewhere on a soul level that they were helping us. And then when we kind of grown up and learnt more stuff, it's turning conscious.
Yeah.
And then like I've noticed that my family are kind of learning from me as well, from by example of doing things like the actions and stuff more than what you say, which is interesting.
You're breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not only are we here to break the cycles within the family, there's also like systems like the schools, I don't know, you name it, any system that no longer serves a positive intention. The truths are surfacing. There's people that are placed in certain places around the globe, around the world, who will act as catalysts towards bringing in the new earth ways, the new positive understandings, the new unity way of life, because blue rays essentially are known as like peacekeepers, and when you don't know what that is, you kind of go towards the people pleasing. I want to help everybody, how do I fix this kind of thing. And then as you go along your path, you start to realize and think, well, actually you can only do this, like you say, one heart at a time, one light at a time.
Yeah, you're the light bearers, here to assist, enlighten and heal many people.
Yeah.
A powerful force. To watch out for Amanda, everyone. She's a beacon of hope. So all these star children, elevated star children that are coming in, are here on a very high purpose, and they're going to keep them coming now. So I had a figure come in my head earlier because I was sort of questioning how many. They were saying 20% of the population at the moment. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, and like when my daughter asked a question the other day, she was like, "A Blu-ray is quite rare," and I was like, "Well, if you think about like Pokemon collections and stuff like that, yeah," I said, "Yeah, you could kind of say that, I guess."
Yeah. So we tried to just give you a feeling about what star children are. If you do hear about them, they're elevated, higher selves and human essence are coming here to help humanity, and they've got the support of the guardians of Earth, the guides. They will have probably more highly ascended guides as well on average. So it's an energy thing, and as time goes on, they're actually working with the energy of the transition with the human form in the 3D energy. But what they're hoping is that as we start to ascend and see more of the fourth and fifth way of thinking, that these elevated children won't be needed anymore because we'll all be elevated.
Okay.
So that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
So they'll take the training
So it
wheels
won't be in
off.
my lifetime, but hopefully your daughter's lifetime and their children's lifetime. Yeah. It's a growing process of evolution and ascension.
Yeah, because eventually where the systems will change, there'll be those who come forward to share their teachings. Like I know somewhere in my life's path that I'll be opening, like I've already started the process. It's called the Phoenix Academy. And there's a concept around spirology. So like spirology, if you've read my books, is like connecting the science, psychology, spirituality, mind body connections, heart based connection, and all that good stuff. If you want to find out more about that, check out my books or go to my website, and we'll put the links in at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, the other thing we were saying about the elevation of energies, with the children, the elevated children coming in, the star children, is as we progress as a human race, we will change. You might be saying, well, why can't it happen now? Because the physical form is not ready yet. We need to elevate ourselves, our cells, our bodies, our molecules, and all that will happen through our thought process. And it does take time. If there's something they went wham bam now, as we are in our physical form, we would not be able to cope and have a breakdown. Basically, humanity would. It's got to be a slow process to get us to where we need to be. So we're like the ground workers at the moment, elevating us forward.
And then there's like the flip side of that, because sometimes I get frustrated, and this is explained that we're coming in on the higher level, and because we sometimes forget that we're in a human body.
Yeah.
And like we get frustrated because we know what's possible, because we've been in the higher energy and we've come down into the lower 3D energy, like you've explained, with the physical body. And so like we know that we can manifest things really quickly, and sometimes it can be quite frustrating because like you said, it's possible, but we have to trust the process to unravel.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Which is where the ADHD level comes in.
So we hope that's brought a little bit of understanding for you. You might recognise this in your own children, yourself, your grandchildren, cousins, nieces, people you know, friends, neighbours, children.
The whole fam.
Just start to look at your perspective on this a bit and listen to what we've said, and hopefully it'll start to make sense to you a bit more.
Yeah, so I hope that does make sense to you guys, and
thank you for listening again.
Thank you.
Awesome. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.